Wealth, fame, power, Gold Roger, the king of pirates, attained everything this world has to offer. The words he uttered just before his death drove people to seize. My treasure, if you want it, you can have it. Find it. I left everything this world has to offer there.
And so the men head for the Grand Line in pursuit of their dreams. The world has truly entered a great pirate era.
Yo, what's up you guys? It's Los Liv here with a little bonus episode for everybody.
Hey everybody, welcome. Thank you for tuning in wherever you are in the world.
Welcome to our first Manga Monday. Manga Monday is a short segment where we chat about the mangas we love. As you may know, our favorite is One Piece. And today we are discussing the Wano timeline.
For those of you who are not caught up to the current One Piece storyline and want to be more involved and updated with detail, we've put together a timeline for all references and events that are related to the current Wano arc.
Mild disclaimer. When we use the term arc, we are referencing the main story arcs and not the ones in between. Example, Whiskey Peak or Long Ring Long Island. We will not be brushing by every detail of the One Piece main storyline. We will only mention what is relevant towards Wano and the current arc.
This is not a chat between Los and I, how most of our episodes are. This is more of us telling you the thread of the Wano story.
We'll begin back in the first half of the Grand Line, Paradise, in the pre-time skip era of the story. The very first time we ever get any context of Wano was back in 2007, chapter 450, Episode 344, in the Thriller Bark arc. Dr. Hogback introduces his zombie samurai warrior who hails from the land of Wano in the New World. Dr. Hogback and Gecko Moria of, at the time, the Seven Warlords, who uses the Shadow fruit to take away Brook's shadow and giving it to the corpse of Ryuma. Ryuma is a famed Wano samurai who is tale to have slayed the head of a dragon in the Flower Capital long ago. When Moria clashed with Kaido, in his said memory, Kaido wiped all of Moria's crew at the time, but Moria took his insurance of Ryuma and his famed Meito grade katana, Shusui, meaning autumn water, deemed to be a national treasure of the Wano country. Ryuma, who had been powered by Brook's shadow, fought and was defeated by Zoro, who was left hindered without his third sword, Yubashiri, which was rusted away by a marine in his escape from the Enies Lobby arc. Ryuma passes his prized sword over to Zoro after his defeat and claims that the sword deems the green-haired Bushido worthy of wielding it. Zoro ventures into the New World with his new blade until he reaches the land of Wano himself.
In Marineford, chapter 553 and episode 461, we get introduced to a geisha lookalike warrior with dual pistols, and we could assume is from the country of Wano. This was never disclaimed, but it's also never ruled out during this arc. In chapter 555 and episode 464, Oris Jr. reminisces on a time when Ace made him his own personal casa hat. Ace mentions to Oris that he had previously traveled to Wano country before. We end off only knowing this much content of Wano by the point of the story, and then comes the time skip. We enter the New World after taking down Hordy and the new Fishmen pirates, and head towards the Strawhats' next detour, which is Punk Hazard.
Here comes the post-time skip. In Punk Hazard, the Strawhats make way into the New World, freshly erupting from the depths of Fishman Island, and proceed to answer a distress call on their Den Mushi. The callers were pleading for help as the person on the phone states there are samurai attacking them. Towards more inside the arc, the Straw Hats encounter what appeared to be the lower body of somebody. Weirdly said, but yes, a moving lower body that connects to Luffy, making him feel like a centaur. A visual connection, Luffy having hind legs. Later on in the arc, Brook encounters a headless torso on the frozen side of Punk Hazard. The torso begins to attack Brook, giving him a bit of trouble until the torso gets trapped in a lake. Sanji later comes to rescue it. When the Straw Hats are captured by Caesar Clown, they are also trapped with a disfigured head. The head can speak, but it has all of its features warped like a Mr. Potato Head. The gang later pieced together the disfigured human to introduce Foxfire Kinemon in chapter 672, episode 596. Kinemon then states his gratitude for the Straw Hat crew, piercing them back together as he reveals to them his birthplace, Kuri, the Wano Kingdom. He then tells the Straw Hats that he's on the island of Punk Hazard in search for his son, Momonosuke. He then explains to them that he had a confrontation with Trafalgar Law, and that is the reason behind his strange debut. Luffy, on his own accord, actually finds Momonosuke at the bottom of a trash heap in chapter 685, episode 603, in the form of a small pink dragon. By the end of the arc, when Caesar Clown is defeated, Momonosuke reveals his true form of the 8-year-old boy he is. He claims that he turns into his dragon form sporadically whenever he gets anxious or scared. Kinemon proceeds to ask for another favor from the Straw Hat crew, along with Law, if they can tag along the ride to the country of Dressrosa, because that's the direction Kin and Momo were headed after the rescue. Kinemon claims to have a friend that he had left behind in Dressrosa in order to rescue Momo, seeing as the child got lost on transporting boats. I should also mention that Law destroys all the resources for the artificial devil fruit named Smiles. The substance named Sad is the essential source for the artificial devil fruit. Caesar was trafficking and stocking it for Doflamingo as a business partnership.
In Dressrosa, Kinemon begins to search for his ally, Conjuro, and has no idea where he could possibly be located, although he has suspicions that he might have been captured by the Don Quixote family. Doflamingo openly announces that he wants to capture Kinemon and Momo for purposes not yet disclosed. Conjuro appears in chapter 700 in episode 691, when Kin finds his friends hiding inside the bottom of the trash heap and tossed away toys. Conjuro has a strange devil fruit not revealed, but his powers allows him to bring giant illustrations to life. He wields a giant paintbrush that acts like a saber. Conjuro is a funny-looking character. His epithet is Evening Shower Conjuro. The Straw Hats are on a mission to destroy the Smile Factory, located in Dressrosa, rescues the missing Tontatas that are under slavery from Doflamingo's subordinates. Conjuro provides assistance to the Straw Hats when delaying the birdcage from closing. Both Kinemon and Conjuro are revealed to possess Armament Haki in this arc as well. After they defeat Doflamingo and his subordinates, the duo are on board with the Straw Hats on Bartolomeo's escorting ship. Kin and Conjuro reveal again that they have another friend in distress on the island of Zo, which is their next predestined route.
Arriving late after defeating Doflamingo, the Straw Hats finally reach the Phantom Island of Zo. Situations and affiliations are being misconstrued against the Straw Hats' best interest. Learning that the Zo Kingdom is being helped back onto its feet after being on the cusp of death via Jack and the Beast Pirates. The initial curly-eyed Straw Hat crew consisted of the pseudo-captain Sanji and his team of Nami, Chopper, Brook, and Momonosuke. The initial crew quickly learns that Jack's intention was to search and capture a man named Raizo. With no success, Jack leaves the decimated kingdom once he hears the news of Doflamingo's capture by the Marines. When the second half of the crew arrive, it is only the pirates that make their presence known to the minks on the first day. Kinemon and Conjuro have struggled the whole day to scale Zunisha, the elephant, and catch up with the far ahead Straw Hats. Considered as one of the biggest reveals in One Piece, the arrival of the samurai lead to the revelation of Raizo's safety and presence in Zo. The Mink tribe then reveals that they had laid their lives on the line for his safety, as both Inuarashi and Nekomamushi trust Raizo's value. Raizo, Ninja of the Mist, is then debuted on chapter 817, episode 768, leading to a new formatted alliance. The Ninja, Pirate, Mink, Samurai Alliance is officially formed along with missions for the four groups. Team Wano consists of Law, Zoro, Usopp, Robin, Frankie, Conjuro, and Kinemon, which will then take the high road and keep a low profile and surveil the enemy's territory before their impending allies arrive. As for our Captain Luffy and his team Whole Cake Island, Nami, Chopper, Brook, Pedro, and Carrot set sail to retrieve a lost Sanji for the battle in Wano. Team Neko and his subordinates of the Whale Forest direct themselves on finding and recruiting Marco, the former 1st Division commander for the Whitebeard Pirates. Team Zo consisted of the Minks and Momonosuke, who had felt the obligation to stay and learn more about the country. After each of the three groups set sail, Inuarashi comments on his suspicion of a traitor. Zo is an island that is never at the same location as last visit. The only way for Jack to find Zo in the manner that he did had to be via Vivre card. This now leaves a number of questions up for debate before we even get to Wano.
After escaping from Whole Cake Island, the Straw Hats attempt to regroup in the land of Wano, but only do so very briefly. as we are introduced to Ashura Doji, aka Shutenmaru, in chapter 920 and episode 910. We quickly learned that the relationship between all the scabbards is a bit tarnished, as though not every ex-member views eye to eye on Kinemon's proposed plan. Ashura would prefer to not advance to battle in the name of Odin, again, as he cannot bear to see more of his fellow countrymen sacrificing their lives to not even hold a handle on Kaido's forces. The tides change with another scabbard, Kawamatsu the Kappa. After being released in Udon, he takes an urgency to search for Hiyori, as he finally does in the Ringo region along with Zoro. After making a discovery of the mass arsenal in Ringo, Kawamatsu brings his news to Kinemon, as more allies and more weaponry enforce the scabbards and the Strawhats. The day of the raid on Onigashima draws near. After some last-minute training with Ryo, and with some new blades, the allied force deems themselves ready for the epic clash against Kaido and Orochi's forces. Only the scabbards arrive at Tokage Port, seemingly left stranded after none of the allied forces appear, and decide to continue through the raid. An eighth member makes his last-minute appearance. After learning of Konjuro's betrayal in the previous chapter, 975, Kiyoshiro of Orochi's forces reveals himself to be the lost Denjuro of the Nine Red Scabbards. Their forces regroup fully by chapter 981, where the final member of the Scabbards, Nikamomushi, reaches everyone at Onigashima, bringing along Marco and Izo, Kiku's brother, of the Whitebeard pirates. The Scabbards dispose of Konjuro and advance towards attacking Kaido head-on.
The 9 Red Scabbards are now in their own full-blown battle against Kaido. Ahead of the Straw Hats and the rest of the pirates, they accomplish as much as being considered as Kaido's warm-up, as all of the swordsmen of the Scabbards manage to land a replication of their master Odin's technique, Togen Totsuka, across the same area where the original blow was taken. Reopening Kaido's traumatic wound seems to deal an emotional toll to Kaido, but not a physical one. Kaido lays the Scabbards out and is joined on the rooftop by Big Mom moments after he's finished with them. Now both Yonko await Straw Hat Luffy and whoever else is headhunting Kaido at the top of the dome of Onigashima. Of those many great pirates, 5 of the worst generation re-debut themselves. Law, Zoro, Luffy, Kid and Killer find themselves in a standoff against these 2 monsters of a Yonko in a last man standing clash.
Thank you for tuning in with the Sustainable Straw Hats today to jog your memory on the Wano timeline, and we hope this helps you piece together the its and bits of everything before and during now Wano. Make sure you follow us on Instagram to stay up to date with One Piece content, and please take a moment to rate and review the podcast on Apple Podcasts. We really appreciate it.
And we will see you very soon for another Manga Monday. Let us know if there are any theories or series you would like us to discuss. We are all friends here in the community, so don't hesitate to send us a message or a comment.
This is the Sustainable Straw Hats setting sail.
Peace!
Luffy は海賊王になる男だ